as it was drafted, was exactly the same as the historical bylaws of about 40 years. In other words, it was a bylaw to incorporate all the rights, uses, what was allowed, cooperational policy between the town and the shoreline community as it had always been. And then somehow this council got a hold of it. And when I say this council, I don't mean it scurrilously. I might think it, but I don't mean it scurrilously. But they did get a hold of this and secured the services of a law firm, whatever the name of it is. Andrew Biggert was the lead on this in terms of their process. Then with that, they formed an ad hoc committee, 2 or 3 years of consultation. And in the end, where we've ended up now is nothing really has been accomplished. Everything's still in the planning stages, apparently according to the town, but they just unilaterally decided, okay, we're not going to grant permits anymore. We're kind of going to do whatever we think we should need to do. And maybe they think they need to do it, but they haven't done it legally. And apparently it seems as though they've actually taken some steps to step around people's rights and to avoid due process. So that's the gist. And beyond that, I don't really want to, like, I guess, John, you have some experience with this. You were there in the days when they were doing the early stages of this problem. And my understanding, and when I go over the record, it says that it was always done in a spirit of cooperation between council and the residents with their own individual guidance from their solicitors and so on. Everybody kind of got on the same page. Does that make sense to you?
It does. That's the way it should be done. And if it's not being done that way, somebody better get a reality check.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a bizarre thing because I started going over the record and I was trying to figure out, like, how did we get here from there? And it seems as though when the lawyer came
Lawyers.
Yeah, it's funny we said that at the same time, lawyers, eh? Well, you know what? Lawyers are like the union. They're necessary, but as soon as you give them too much power, they become counterproductive, and they seize the process. They take control, and then the will of the people and the good conscience of councillors that want to do the right thing and are told, well, you can't. That kind of summarizes the process, I think.
Martin, you've had experience. Lawyers will tell you what you want to hear if you ask them to.
Well, it depends how you frame your questions, but I think Tim's hit the nail on the head here. And Tim, you were just saying that the other day to me that there's been some letters back and forth with regards to the tenant or the property owner's rights. Could you maybe just go over that a little bit? When you said it to me, I was a bit shocked.
Yeah, let me just get a little bit more light going on my picture there.
Yeah. We don't want you half.
Yeah, well, I don't know who's making the accusations. Yeah, I'm just kidding. So anyway, yeah, the discussion we had the other day was regarding, I've been trying to communicate back and forth. And as always, when you get to these stages in this type of a conflict, the lawyers lock everybody down. And but it's actually, it's gotten to the point where everybody in the building up there needs the lawyer's permission to say anything. Like you can't even get just an answer to a simple question. And so I was trying to go back and forth, and I've divided the set of issues into two parts. One is the issues that I'm trying to deal with my judicial review, and that would be the historical evolution of where they are now and their process, and was it legal? And I don't believe it was. The separate issue is issues that are under the Municipal Act, namely permit applications based on zoning, permits being turned down as a result of policies that have been the same for 40 years, and now they've just decided they're not going to issue them, even though they've identified that legally they have to. But what they've done is they've devised a process that says, well, we can turn permits down anyway. So, and they identified they want to turn permits down because they want to take control of the shoreline. So the reasons that they're turning down, they've identified as, we don't want to go to the proper process because it'll give people's rights. So let's go this process, and then it won't trigger any mechanisms whereby they get checks and balances and the right for review, all the normal stuff in municipal law that says councils have to be accountable. They've actually taken steps, literally taken steps, and they've identified it as, well, if we go that route, they can appeal and they have rights. If we go this route, we can just go this route and they can't do anything about it. And it's disgusting, I believe. And John, I think you and I discussed this a little bit too, no?
Yeah, we did. That they could have way back when, and even now, if they really wanted to give the residents an opportunity to have their say in court, they can pass an interim control bylaw, and then it can be challenged. And if it was challenged, I really do believe that the town would not win. They are taking away the rights of residents, but again, yeah, in my old position as Director of Leisure Services, I felt very strongly, and still do, that the view of the lake is one of our biggest assets and must be protected. So they seem to appear to want to go a step further, though, and take property that may be owned by lakefront owners already, seize it, and sell it back to them, which is weird.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. That is it in a nutshell. And the thing is that, and here's the thing, that they have never done an R plan. And the reason is, if they did, then they would identify what they do and don't own, especially what they don't own. So they haven't taken any steps to identify that they don't own the majority of this. And in fact, the town lawyer tried to say, oh, I know we own 90% of this. And if you don't play ball, we're going to fence your properties off and tear your boathouses down. Like, just ludicrous allegations and actually threats. He sat in council chamber and threatened all the residents that were in chamber that night, thinking that they were going to be listened to in cooperation, as past councils have done. And they show up and he says that. And that's at the end of a 2-year consultation that incorporated nothing that the residents wanted. It's pretty bizarre.